Wade Wilson stood in front of a high-end jewelry store window, his forehead pressed against the glass. Inside, a diamond ring sat on a velvet cushion, glowing with the kind of radiance that usually required a radioactive spider bite. "Look at that price tag," Wade muttered to a pigeon perched on a nearby trash can. $80,000 for a rock? I could buy a small country with that, or at least a very high-quality replica of the Batmobile made entirely of churros. Wade checked his bank account. It was currently sitting at negative $12 and a half-eaten coupon for a foot-long sub. He sighed, his mask lenses drooping in sadness. "I need a plan, something classic, something heisty, something that involves breaking several laws of physics." He snapped his fingers. "I know, I'll just borrow that time-traveling gizmo from that grumpy guy with the metal arm and the bad attitude. No, not Winter Soldier, the other one, Cable. He's always leaving his temporal sliders lying around like dirty socks."
Wade snuck into Cable's safe house, crawled through the air vents while humming the Mission Impossible theme, and snatched a silver device off the nightstand. "Sorry, Nathan, I'm taking the time hopper for a spin. I'll bring it back in one piece, unless I accidentally kill my own grandfather and turn into a puddle of paradox goo. If that happens, tell my cat I loved her, even though I don't have a cat," Wade chirped. He punched in the coordinates for Middle-earth. "If I'm going to get a ring for free, I'm going for the one that has a 10-hour runtime and a bunch of guys in bathrobes crying over it." The air in Bree was thick with the smell of unwashed wool and stale beer. Wade materialized inside the Prancing Pony, landing silently on a pile of hay. He spotted the room where 4 tiny, snoring figures were huddled under blankets. "Look at them," Wade whispered, creeping toward the bed. "They're like adorable little hairy-footed toddlers. It's almost a shame to rob them." Almost. He found the chain around Frodo's neck. With the surgical precision of a man who has spent years cutting the crusts off sandwiches, Wade unlinked the chain. "Yoink," he mouthed. He held the unring up to the moonlight. "Gosh, it's smaller than it looks on IMAX. I hope Vanessa's a size ancient evil." Suddenly, the door creaked. A man with a hooded cloak and a very sharp sword, Aragorn, stood there. "The ring! Thief! Drop the ring or I shall shave your head with this sword and make you walk back to the Shire in your underwear." "Whoa, easy there, Ranger Rick. That's a very specific threat," Wade shouted, jumping out the window. "I'd love to stay and chat about your royal lineage, but I have a wedding to plan and a very strict no beheading policy for my honeymoon." Wade hit the ground running. He wasn't just fast, he was fourth wall breaking fast. Behind him, the 4 hobbits, the ranger, and eventually an elf and a dwarf were hot on his heels. "You guys are really persistent," Wade yelled over his shoulder as he sprinted through the Midgewater marshes. "Don't you have a destiny to fulfill? Go find a palantir to stare at." The sound of a terrifying, high-pitched screech tore through the air. 9 riders in black cloaks emerged from the mist on dark horses. "Oh, great. The ring wraiths," Wade groaned, sliding down a grassy embankment. "Listen, fellas, I know you're just doing your jobs, but that screeching is a 4 on the decibel scale and a 10 on the giving me a migraine scale. Have you tried lozenges? Maybe a nice herbal tea?" Wade led them on a chase across the plains of Rohan, zigzagging through the woods of Lothlorien. "Sorry, Lady Galadriel. Love the decor. Very ethereal chic," he shouted as he dodged an elven arrow. Eventually, his lungs, which were currently regenerating from the smog of Bree, started to burn. He spotted a dark, jagged opening in a mountainside and dove inside, collapsing in the shadows. Wade sat in the dark cave, polishing the ring with a corner of his suit. "Okay, Wade, you've outrun the Olympic track team and the goth bikers. Now you just need to—" "Gollum! Gollum!" A pale, spindly creature crawled down the cavern wall, its eyes glowing like radioactive lemons. "It stole it! It stole our precious! We wants it back, yes, we do's!"
Wade yelled, pulling out a katana. "Back off, Smeagol. I've had a very long day, and I'm about 3 seconds away from turning you into a very thin calamari." Gollum hissed, baring his 3 teeth. "Thief! We knows the ways out. We knows the dark places. Give it to us." Wade paused, his brain whirring. "Wait, you know the way out? And you clearly know the local geography. Tell you what, Slimer, you help me get to the big volcano so I can, verify the ring's authenticity, and I'll let you hang out with me. We'll be a team." Gollum blinked. "A team?" "Yeah, just like the Fellowship, but with more charisma and less walking. We'll call ourselves the Ugly Pretty Power Hour. You're the ugly, obviously. I'm the power. The pretty is debatable depending on the lighting."
As they navigated the treacherous, jagged paths toward the Black Gate, Wade decided to use Gollum as a sounding board for his logistics. "So, Smeagol, help me out here. I'm thinking about the guest list," Wade said, poking a dead marshlight with a stick. "I have to invite the X-Men, obviously, but Logan always gets drunk and tries to fight the ice sculpture. And then there's Peter. He's just a guy with type 2 diabetes who showed up for the ad, but he's so nice I can't leave him out. Do you think the Avengers will be offended if I put them at the B-list table? It's not my fault Stark's ego takes up 3 chairs." "We hates chairs," Gollum hissed, gnawing on a raw blind fish. "We wants to sit in the dirt and crunch cold boneses." "See, that's the spirit. Minimalist," Wade cheered. "I'm also struggling with the flower arrangements. Vanessa wants lilies, but I'm thinking something more Deadpool. Maybe just a bunch of red tulips with little tiny grenades hidden in the petals. It's festive and functional. And the music. Should I go with a classic harpist or just hire a guy to play Careless Whisper on the kazoo for 4 hours straight?" "The precious is the only music we needs," Gollum whispered, his eyes fixed on Wade's pocket. "You're a one-note guy, aren't you?" I sighed. "Anyway, I'm worried about Blind Al. If I don't give her a front-row seat, she'll tell everyone the cake is made of cardboard, which it might be depending on my budget after I pay for the open bar. Do you think raw goblin is a good appetizer? It's very earth-to-table." That night, as Wade curled up for a nap using a rock as a pillow, Gollum sat in the shadows, his face twisting into a mask of pure malice. "The red man sleeps," Gollum whispered to his reflection in a puddle. "Yes, he sleeps. We takes it while he dreams of lilies. We throttled him. We squeeze his windpipe until his funny red head pops off. Then the precious is ours again, and we eats the blind woman for dessert. Yes, precious, juicy old lady meat."
The air grew thin and sulphurous as they climbed the stairs of Cirith Ungol. Gollum, wearing a look of faux sincerity that would make a politician sweat, led Wade into a cavern that smelled like a dumpster fire at a hair salon. "Is this the shortcut? Because it feels like a get murdered in a dark alley cut," Wade remarked, drawing his katanas. Suddenly, a sound echoed, the skittering of 1,000 needles. Out of the ceiling dropped Shelob, a spider the size of a city bus, her 8 eyes reflecting Wade's red suit in a terrifying kaleidoscope. "Holy mother of—" Wade ducked a massive venom-dripping stinger. "Shelob, look, I get it, I'm a snack, but I'm mostly scar tissue and bad jokes. You'll get indigestion." Gollum cackled from a high ledge as the spider lunged. Wade engaged in a frantic, acrobatic dance, slicing at hairy legs and dodging webbing that could pull a helicopter out of the sky. "Eat lead, Charlotte." Wade pulled out his pistols, clicking empty. Right. No bullets in the Third Age. Note to self, invent gunpowder before the next sequel. Shelob managed to graze Wade's shoulder with her stinger. He felt his limbs go numb. "Oh, that's some high-quality, paralyzing agent," he slurred, collapsing. Gollum scurried down, hissing in triumph, and snatched the ring from Wade's paralyzed fingers. "Yes, ours again!" Gollum screamed, fleeing toward the summit. Wade's healing factor worked overtime, boiling the venom out of his system in a mess of black sludge. He gasped, stood up, and looked at the camera. I really hate bugs.
He sprinted up the side of Mount Doom, reaching the cracks of Doom just as Gollum was dancing on the edge of the precipice. Behind them, the sky shattered. Above the Barad-dûr, the great eye of Sauron flared, a massive, lidless eye wreathed in flame, its gaze searing through the very atmosphere. "Gollum, give it back!" Wade yelled. Gollum lunged at Wade, biting and clawing. They wrestled on the edge of the volcanic pit. Wade grabbed Gollum by his spindly neck. "You had your chance at the fellowship, buddy." With a final shove, Wade threw Gollum into the lava. Gollum went down, clutching a fake plastic C-3PO ring Wade had swapped in during the struggle. Wade held the real One Ring up to the massive, fiery eye looming over him. The heat was suffocating. The air crackled with dark energy as the eye focused its absolute, terrifying attention on the man in red. "Hey, Cyclops!" Wade yelled, his voice echoing over the roar of the magma. "I've got your ring, but honestly, it's a bit too much responsibility. It's got a weird vibe, it whispers things in a language I don't speak, and it's totally the wrong size for Vanessa's delicate hands. I was gonna keep it, but then I thought, what would a hero do? And then I remembered I'm not one, so let's talk shop."
The great eye flared with a sound like a solar flare, a voice echoing directly into Wade's mind. "You bargain with the Dark Lord? Mortal, you are but dust before my might." Yeah, dust with a healing factor and a very loud mouth," Wade retorted, dangling the ring over the lava. "You want this? You want to be the big boss again? Then you're gonna do me a solid. You're a legendary smith. You made this gold hunk of junk. I want a new ring, something beautiful, something that says I love you without saying I want to enslave the souls of all living things. You make me a custom, non-cursed masterpiece, and I give you back your soul tether. If not, I drop this in the soup, and you're going back to being a very angry cloud of smoke." The eye flickered, its orange fire swirling as it considered the trade. A deal was struck. A pulse of fiery magic erupted from the eye, striking the stone floor. When the smoke cleared, a ring of pure black mithril with a glowing red ruby sat there, beautiful, elegant, and entirely safe. "Pleasure doing business with you, Peepin' Tom," Wade shouted. He tossed the One Ring toward the Barad-dûr, hit his repaired temporal slider, and vanished in a flash of pink light.
The wedding in New York was the event of the century. Vanessa looked stunning in a gown that cost Wade 3 more stolen time travel trips to afford. Wade stood at the altar, beaming. To his left, Colossus was sobbing into a giant handkerchief. To his right, in the front row, sat the massive armored form of Sauron in his spiked black plate. The Dark Lord sat very stiffly in a reinforced chair, his mace leaning against the flower arrangements. "Does anyone have any objections to this union?" the minister asked nervously, glancing at the giant spiked lord in the front row. Sauron let out a low, metallic growl that shook the glass windows. "I'll take that as a no," Wade chirped. He slid the new ring, a beautiful band of black mithril with a glowing red gem, onto Vanessa's finger. "I love it, Wade," Vanessa whispered, kissing him. "Where did you get it?" "Oh, you know," Wade said, winking at the camera. "I just had to go on an unexpected journey. And don't worry about the tall guy in the front. He brought a really nice toaster for a gift." As the reception started, Sauron stood by the buffet, carefully trying to pick up a tiny crab cake with his giant gauntlets, while Deadpool danced the Macarena in the background.